Ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas. Good evening and welcome to the MGM Grand here on the Vegas Strip in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. From little get to know you here in the opening round scheduled for 10. Well targeted right hand by Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield's hitting the mark right now. How precise was he there with that three-punch combo? Teddy, I assume many times in your career, you were instructing a fighter that was going to face a fighter who just had the longer reach, flat out had it. What did you tell him? What did you try to cement in his head leading up to that fight?
You know, sometimes you get caught up when you're fighting a fighter with those great, outstanding physical attributes like tallness and height, reach advantage. You start to think that only one way is the way to go. You got to force yourself to work your way in. I remind myself and I remind my fighter that you can step out and make the taller man give up his height. Walk him into traps.
They trade shots. He comes back with a right hand. Holyfield's way off the mark. That punch didn't have a chance. Combination to the head. Good block by Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield showing you that sublime skill right now with that two-punch combo. Oh, what an uppercut. Oh, and he returns fire with a left hand. Oh, good exchange there. There's that overhand right. Able to get rid of that one. Holyfield showing you what it takes to be the best in this business. Good, crisp combos. Scored well upstairs with the right hand.
That's it. That's it.
Excellent 1-2 by Evander Holyfield. Round comes to an end here. An enjoyable night sitting ringside. Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas. A lot better than our day we spent at the horse track the other day where we couldn't get any winners. At least I couldn't. But we were talking about the fact that so many parallels to be made between boxing and life boxing and all these other sports we enjoy, like horse racing, of being well-conditioned and working your way up to this one singular moment.
Yeah, well, the trainer obviously has to get the athlete. In this case, athlete happens to be over 1,000 pounds, and that's a horse. You know, at peak condition, he has to look at a calendar just like a trainer does with a fighter, know when the race is, know when the fight is, and not get used up out on the track or used up, of course, in the gym.
Good block by Mike Tyson. Tyson's right hand scores well that time. We're seeing a lot of work to the body here early on by him. Teddy, is that a certain mentality, these guys that commit to being a body puncher?
Yeah, because they understand that the body punching, you know, that's not something that's glorious. That's not something that, you know, like a great left hook on the chin, bang, it gets results right away. They understand that that's something that pays off later and something you got to start early and stay with.
That is exactly what the corner wanted to see. A good combination punch by Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's getting himself into the mix now, landing that left hand. Off to the side, a little swing and a miss going upstairs. A little head hunting with the left. And yet another right hand lands.
Keep working the body.
Took a shot, now he gives a left. Not what he was looking for. That's a miss right there by Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield's the victim of a powerful hook. Tyson's last round is a good example of what can happen when you just stay active. He threw more punches, he landed more punches. You can see the punch stats here, and it really paid off for him.
Yeah, what's that old saying? With great power comes great responsibility, and with great punch stats or high punch stats comes danger sometimes. Well, Well, I made that one up. I don't know if there's actually
I like
saying
it.
for that. But that's where you got to be careful. Yeah, the punch numbers are real high, but the more you throw, the more chance of somebody catching you as you're throwing. He has to be aware of that.
Couldn't hit the elusive target with that straight right. Tyson's strategy coming in was to land a lot of jabs. Teddy, you got to grade him out with an 80.
Maybe even an A+, Joe. That plus is the right hand. Once the jab has been there, bang, the right hand came just when it was supposed to. Give him an A+.
He took a shot, but he gives one of his own. A left hand scores. I like that step back right there. Just enough to be out of danger, but still close enough to then land the counter punch.
Well, that's what happens when you have that kind of experience. You're calm enough to know that range. Know where the beginning of the punch and the end of the punch is.
Teddy, it was very clear early on in Mike's career, especially a lot of the fights that I went to in Latham, New York, and Albany, New York, and Troy, New York, that the fight was won before the opening bell was rung. That intimidation, such a big part of his game.
Something that's been developed for a long time, something that he's been cognizant of for a long time. You know, he comes from a scary neighborhood in Brownsville. A lot of tough guys, a lot of bad guys. And he was scared of them. So he understands how that can be used. I'll tell you a quick story. We went to Junior Olympics back when he was a kid. He was only 14 years old. He was 190 pounds. You know, he was a guy that was all muscle. We were in Denver, Colorado for the National Junior Olympics. And everybody's looking at him. They look like kids. They were fat. They were chubby. They're looking at this guy and say, what's he doing here? He's in the wrong place. This is a man. And he didn't talk to anybody. He made sure that he just stared ahead. He knew that their minds were going to play tricks on him. He knew their imagination was at work. He knew that imagination was like acid. It was eating away at him. And before you knew it, by doing that, there was a rumor going around that this was Sonny Liston's nephew. And Tyson never told anybody he wasn't.
He got hit. Oh, now the uppercut. Evander Holyfield's now feeling the effects, Teddy, of having his opponent punch right through that guard.
Well, he should feel the effects. I mean, look, Joe, it's kind of like standing out in a rainstorm with an umbrella, and all of a sudden the wind's coming, and the rain's coming from the side, and you're standing there under the umbrella and say, why am I getting wet? Well, you're standing there covering up. The punches are coming from the sides. They're coming from all angles. You're going to get wet.
You're not always protected. Good, solid right hand lands. He turned things around. Look at that! Targeting that head and landing with a bomb. 2. Holyfield's now getting back up off the canvas. Right to the head with that right. Not an accurate hook at all. Tyson's putting his punches together now. That's a nice combination.
Left and right, left and right.
That is a big right hand after eating one himself. Holyfield's missing the mark by a mile. That just was nowhere to be found. Mike Tyson's landed a good, solid combination. This is just beautiful to watch. Watch how he just links one to the next, Teddy. A beautiful sequence, almost like musical notes being played.
Well, exactly. It's a nice tune because it just follows. One, as you said, follows the other. Nice and smooth.
Unable to make an impact there by Evander Holyfield. Tyson's coming off a round where he scored big. He scored the knockdown. I suppose right now he's got to think to himself, Teddy, how did I do that, and how can I do that again?
He should think that to himself. That's what his corner's there for, to remind him. You know how you did it? Do it again.
Nothing there on the punch by Evander Holyfield. A huge shot countering back. Seemingly in control, and now maybe out of control after getting hit there.
But what you just said, Joe, that is really what's the enemy of his right now is nothing was coming at him. He was winning too easily. And for a minute, he let up. And bang,
A well-placed left hand up top. It appears that Mike Tyson has weathered that. Oh, and there you go. Perfectly executed combination. Evander Holyfield's down. He's going to have to beat the count.
Can't stop quitting on me, man. Niggas fucking lame. I'm done. I'm ready to cut my ass and do something else.